I'm off to a great start, everybody. Oh my god.
Jeez.
Let me strike that one off the list. We'll just pretend like that didn't happen.
What's up, everyone? Welcome back to another episode of Down Once More with Matt and Raley. Both
What's
here,
up?
ready to party, kick off May in style, or the second week of May in style.
As always.
Yeah. How's it going, Raley? First off.
Fantastic. You know, same old, same old. I do nothing but work and try to not think about work when I'm not working. And that's really like my life. I'm just chasing a 4-year-old around for 3/4 of the day. And the other quarter, I'm focusing on whatever else I have to focus on. That's my life. It's really boring.
Well, that's work in and of itself. So that's why you're just working constantly. So
that's exactly right. I have 2 full-time jobs and only one of them I get paid for.
Yeah. The other one actually costs you much more money and sanity.
Does. Definitely does. It really does. I'm surprised I'm able to maintain the other one. But how are you? How's it going?
Good. I am drinking coffee tonight instead of booze because I did not get a ton of sleep last night. So I'm running on fumes a little bit today. So coffee at 11 o'clock at night means I'll be fine tomorrow, right? That's usually good for your sleep.
Of course. I'm sure that you will sleep peacefully and restfully after we finish this. I'm certain of it.
I'm sure we will too. So, those of you who listened to the podcast before, you know this, the first joint episode of the month, we do our vocal warmups, which is 3 random things in a minute. We do a set list, which is some kind of random list, 3, 5, 10 things. It could be a draft. It could be whatever we want. It varies. So we're going to do that on Disney songs today, a little bit later. And I'm going to do a mini review for Jagged Little Pill, the musical. I saw it on tour, and I saw this is actually their first tour that they've done of the show. So it started last February, but it's still ongoing with that original cast from the touring. So I'll give it a little mini review and some discussion on that after we do vocal warm-ups. But Raley, do you want to go first for vocal warm-ups? I'll give you the preference.
I think I went first last time, so you should go first this time.
Okay.
Deal?
Okay. Yeah,
all right,
let's do it.
Let me give you 60 seconds on the clock. Wait. Okay. Tell me when you're ready.
Okay. Count me down.
3, 2, 1, go.
Okay, first off, I'm barely on TikTok because I hate TikTok unless I'm promoting this. Then I'm on TikTok. I saw a filter that says, this is what I look like if I lose 100 pounds is the new thing going around. And that's so fucking unhealthy. Like, why the fuck does that exist? It's awful. Second, guys, pro tip, if you wear boxer briefs, now that everyone knows what kind of underwear I wear, get ones with horizontal flies or quick draw flies. It's a fucking game changer. I'm telling you what. Third, I have a marketing pitch for Spanx that they owe me money for. People think it could be shallow. It's kind of touchy how you promote it. I think they should promote Spanx as anxiety pants because compression and stuff like that helps with anxiety. My dog has this like thunder coat he puts on when storming, which it is doing right now. And I think that's how they need to start marketing Spanx, whether it's the shirts for men or the pants. Market them for anxiety, and then it's a positive thing for mental health instead of like, oh, you're not happy with your body. Boom. It's my time.
Good job. You were 3 seconds over time limit, but okay, your Spanx idea, pretty genius.
Right?
Like most people buy like weighted blankets to help with like anxiety and stuff, but like why don't you just buy yourself a nice pair of Spanx?
Yeah.
I don't even want to know how or why that idea came to you, but I have this really disturbing mental image of you like parading around in your house wearing Spanx and heels and just going, I feel pretty, oh so pretty and witty and gay. That's what
and that would
happened
be
in my brain.
Okay, Raley. That would be
I would not only not have a problem with it, I would probably be your road manager so that I could take you on tour and make you go viral.
Yeah. No, so we have my dog gets really freaked out in thunderstorms, which if you hear thunder in the background, it's because we're currently in like a tornado watch. Um, and so my dog,
Okay.
like, she pants and she like shakes. So we have CBD treats for her, and this, it's called a thunder coat. That's basically like a compression jacket. That's supposed to help them feel like they're getting hugged and help with the anxiety. And so I'm like, well, it's tight, it hugs you. That's what they need to market Spanx. Because I always see like the Spanx or like the Skims, the different things where people are like, well, that promotes negative, like, not body positivity. You're not happy. You think you need to look skinnier, and that's unhealthy. And that
Absolutely.
they should just spin it and say this is actually for your mental health. It helps your
Okay,
anxiety.
so then instead of Spanx, they should call your dog's coat is a thunder coat, so they should
Yeah.
call it
Thunderpants.
ThunderUnders,
I like
Thunder
it.
Undies,
Thunder
Thunder
unders.
Unders.
I think ThunderUnders. Yep.
Yeah.
Okay.
So we just found our new business idea. So if y'all steal it, I swear to God, we will show this video as
That's right.
our patent
We
rights.
we have it down here that we had it first. So
Well, I think that's phenomenal. And
yeah.
yeah, I don't care about what I would look like if I lost 100 pounds. I would like be scared if that happened to me.
Yeah.
I'd be worried. But yeah,
Hmm.
I don't think that's healthy either. Don't think that's a
No.
good idea to look at that. And what was your other one that I am neglecting to
Horizontal
remember?
fly.
Oh, I've never heard of such
Horizontal.
a thing. I did
Yeah.
not know that exists. I
Uh-huh.
have, I can't, like, I'm trying to picture it in my head, but it's like all wrong. So maybe you're gonna have to drop a picture in there
So
for us when you
normally,
edit
yeah,
this. Like,
I'll put it in the
shush.
YouTube video. There will be one because most men's flies on box briefs, they're overlapping in the middle, like slits. And you have to
Right.
go in, dig out,
You have to
pull to the
go
side, all
in and
sorts of
out
stuff.
both sides.
Yeah.
Yeah.
With the horizontal one, you just flap out. It's just flop it out. So
Flop it out.
you just flop it out. It's much more
Just
convenient.
flop.
That's right. So yes, guys, do
That's
yourself a
awesome.
favor, try them out.
Hey,
Chomp,
you be doing ladies a favor too. You
that's
know,
true, ladies. Buy your
we
guys.
get better access, easier
You do.
access.
That is true.
So it's a
Everyone,
win win for
do yourself
everybody.
a favor. Horizontal
All
fly
right,
boxer
I'm gonna
briefs.
write this down. Just kidding.
Mm-hmm.
I'm not. Those were good. I enjoyed that.
Thank you.
All right, is
Thank
it
you.
my turn? Do I go now?
Yeah. Yep. You want me to count you down?
Okay,
You ready?
give me a count. Yeah, give me a countdown.
3, 2, 1.
So there's a show that's just come out. It's streaming now on HBO. Love and Death. I don't know if you've heard of it, but it's actually about a true story, and it's actually the second version of a series that's been done on this story very recently. The first one had Jessica Biel in it, and this one I'm watching, the current one, and it is way better than the Jessica Biel one, by the way. Although the story is exactly the same. The actors and actresses are great. I highly recommend watching it because it is a messed up story, but I like it a lot. Number two, getting a passport in this country is like a huge pain in the ass. I have to work to get my son's passport because we're going to Peru later this year. And if it's this hard, like how many loopholes you have to jump through, how many documents you have to bring, how many appointments you have and sign and things. You never have everything you need in the first trip, so you know it's going to be bad. It's really hard. I can't imagine what it's like for an undocumented citizen to try to be a citizen. It's worse. Third, guilty pleasure. I should have mentioned this on the guilty pleasure episode, but True Blood and or Vampire Diaries is my most current and recent vampire guilty pleasure.
Nice. Wait, True Blood's a recent one for you?
No, I've been
Oh,
obsessed
okay.
with True Blood since it started, and I'm really mad at myself that I didn't use that on our guilty pleasure episode. I totally
Mm,
blanked and forgot that that was my show because I literally am so obsessed that I own all 7 seasons. This was back when, of course, it mattered if you actually bought the DVDs for things, and it wasn't there was no way to watch them if you didn't have the DVDs. I
mm-hmm.
watched the show when it first came out, like religiously. I watched it every week. I like
Mm-hmm.
made it. It was a Sunday night thing that I did, and so I loved it so much that I went out and bought the DVD box sets for all 7 seasons, and I still to this day have them. Now you can watch it I think, on HBO Max now. So
Yeah.
you don't need the DVD set, but I haven't. And I recently started rewatching Vampire Diaries because it's just another
Mm,
really long and drawn out vampire drama series that
yeah.
if you like it, it's one of those ones that's good enough that it's worth watching like the 8 seasons of the show there are. And it's
Yeah.
really cheesy, and of course, it's exactly what you think you're gonna get. But and it's like teen drama and angst wrapped up into
Yeah.
like scary vampires, and I love it. I love it. I secretly want to be a vampire.
Yeah.
If I
True
met one,
Blood.
I'd have them. I'd probably do them, and then I'd have them bite me to become one for sure.
Now, did you think Bill was sexy, True Blood?
No,
Okay.
no. I
I
think
didn't. I thought that was interesting casting.
his
But him and
terrible Southern
Sookie were
accent.
together.
Yeah. Well, she's annoying too. I don't even really like her as a character. But
Right.
his Southern accent is just atrocious, and
Mm-hmm.
like so is hers though. Hers, Anna
Yeah.
Paquin, and I'm
Yep.
distracted by that giant gap in her teeth every time she says something. But she's actually married to the guy who played Bill in real life,
Mm-hmm.
or at least she was. I don't know if she still is. But no,
Oh,
I always had a
gotcha.
thing for Eric, the
Mm.
Viking vampire.
Yep.
He really did it for me. Does it for me still.
He's a great actor too.
Tall, sexy, blonde man.
He was in
I'll
a
be your
Viking
Viking
movie
loot.
recently.
I'll be your Viking booty.
Well, that's what I
More
feel
ways than
like.
one, you know what I mean?
I enjoyed True Blood was one of the first series that I watched with my now wife when we started dating because she had it on DVD and was watching through it, and we got like the last few seasons when we were together. But I thought it was really good. I haven't watched Vampire Diaries, partially because I don't know. I feel with the vampire stuff when you tone it down, because wasn't that a CW show? I feel like it wouldn't be like as good as True Blood.
It's
But also
missing
True,
the nitty gritty of True Blood. It is
yeah,
very like teenage friendly
yeah,
instead of being HBO style.
yeah. I also felt
They
like
don't
True
even say.
Blood's,
I think they only say like the curse words they're allowed to say is like damn, and that's it. Or maybe hell. Hell and damn are the only curse words they're allowed to say, and I don't even really consider those curse words. So
yeah,
it lacks a little bit of the luster of it being such a dark and broody subject. Sorry, what were you going
yeah.
to say?
Oh no. I was to say True Blood. I feel like it started out really good, and then I felt like the last few seasons just went
They ran out of
downhill
ideas.
hardcore. Yeah,
They ran out of
they
ideas.
did.
Yeah,
That was one
and
I'm like, oh, I
the
wish it
way
would have
it
ended
ended,
before.
yeah, the way it ended, like the very last bit of it with like Bill like sacrificing himself, and then Sookie just being like, and then they were just like 4 years later, Sookie's married and having a baby, like
Yeah,
ta-da, everything's happy, and like I was like, really? That's how we leave it?
yeah,
Really? Oh, okay.
yeah. I agree.
Boo. But I agree. The
Yeah,
season 1, 3, and 4 are the best for sure. I think it's 3 and 4, maybe 3 and 5. But anyway, irregardless, that is definitely a huge guilty pleasure of mine, and I'm not afraid to
yeah,
say it.
yeah.
And
And see,
have
I
you
don't
heard of the
envy you with the
11 Death?
past. Yeah,
Sorry, go
yeah.
ahead.
I've seen it. It's in my queue on HBO Max, soon to
You
be
should watch
just
it.
Max, but I have not watched it yet. Yeah,
You should watch it. It's an interesting story, and obviously it's a true story, so that makes it more interesting. But yeah, I didn't know anything about it until I happened upon the other version of it first. And the other version is called Candy. And I think it was on Hulu that I
mm-hmm.
watched it. Candy is
Yeah,
the
I
name of
think
it
it
because
was
that's
Hulu.
the main girl's name is
Mm-hmm.
Candace, and they call her Candy. Jessica Biel plays Candy, and she's not that great of an actress, in my opinion. So she just didn't sell it that well. But the girl that plays Candy in the newer one on
Yeah,
HBO,
Elizabeth
is
Olsen.
good.
Mm-hmm.
Oh, good. You know her name. I do
Yeah,
not.
yeah. She's in the
But yeah,
Marvel
I definitely
movies, and
recommend
she's
it.
Mary Kate and Ashley's sister.
Okay, now that you mention it, she does look like them.
Mm-hmm. Yep.
I don't think I would have ever said, like, known that if I had the
Yeah.
reference in my mind. But now that you say that, yeah, I
Yeah.
see it. You should watch it and then report
Yeah.
back and see if you like it.
Well, all I keep seeing from that show is clips online. That's like, it's just so funny. Like Jesse Plemons, who plays the guy that she has the affair with,
Yeah.
he's a really good actor. But they're like, it's just so funny. She's like, I just saw him, and he just oozes sex. And then it cuts to Jesse Plemons, and he does not look like a man that just oozes sex. So,
No. And they even say a bunch of times in the show, they're like, yeah, but it's him. Like, but like, look at him. Like, he's the one you're going to have an affair with? Like, that guy, really? And she even says, he's like all pudgy and I don't like it, but I just can't help it. He just oozes sex.
uh,
No.
yeah,
I
he
almost feel
was in
bad for the
Breaking
actor
Bad.
because I always think about the actors who have to be in those positions and those shows and those movies and stuff where they're always talking about how ugly they are, how fat they are. Like they make a
Yeah,
big deal out of who, like what that person looks like. And there's a real person who's acting as that role. Like
right,
I would be upset if that was my role that everybody was
right,
calling ugly. Like you cast me for a reason for this part. You needed somebody ugly. You found me. That's
right.
terrible. It makes me feel
Yeah,
like shit.
yeah.
So
But
yeah. Anyway, worth a watch.
I don't envy you with the passport thing either. I had to get one. We went to Jamaica a few years ago, and we had to get one for that. And I'm like, I don't even want to book our stay or anything until we have our passports in hand. And we got
Yeah.
really lucky. Most of ours, mine, I had gotten one before, so it was just a renewal. Because my old one was expired, so that was easy. My wife's was a little bit more in pain because like you have to do like marriage license and all that crap and mail that stuff in too.
God.
And so hers was a little bit more, but yeah, you have to make an appointment, go in person. You have to have all this stuff ahead of time too, and then you have to have a check, and
Yeah, and
then
they don't even
it's
tell you
just
half the shit you're supposed to have. I just
yeah,
was lucky enough to like think it through and go, I guess I probably should bring every single document I own proving my own existence,
yeah,
Martin's existence, and River's existence as our child, like everything. And they take his birth certificate. She was like, "Do you want a
yeah,
copy of his birth certificate?" I was like, "I have one." She's like, "Okay, because this goes with the application." I'm like, you literally are
yeah,
sending his actual birth certificate
yeah.
through
There,
the
mm-hmm,
mail, the snail mail to this
right,
place, and then sending it back to me. And it takes no less than 7 weeks to deliver this
yeah.
thing. Like, going to the passport agency is worse than going to the DMV. I'm convinced. This is such an easy process. It should be done online. And if you have to, I guess you have to verify the identity, of course. But there are ways to do that. Maybe I can go to the
Mm-hmm.
office and say, look, here's my idea. I already filled it out
Mm-hmm.
online. Here's the thing that I got online so showing that I filled it out. Here's my ID. Sign, print it out right there, give it to me. Like it's what century we are we in?
Mm-hmm.
I can't imagine what it's like when you're actually not a citizen trying to get citizenship in this country, especially with all of Trump's shenanigans, the fallout from all of that.
Full of
The
shenanigans.
it's yeah, no, God. And I don't even know if he's
Yeah.
gonna come here in time because we have our Peru trip planned for July and I'm just like praying that it gets here before then.
Yeah.
Because if it doesn't, we're not
Hopefully
going.
you're good. Yeah. Hopefully you're fine. Like we got lucky. We got ours in just a little over a month. I was shocked because I'd heard like
Oof.
some people that
It's
were
gotta
like,
be a
yeah, it's
record.
been taking like 6 months. I'm like, fuck. But yeah, we got ours in like a month. So
Yeah.
all
Well,
right.
pray to the passport gods that ours comes soon.
Yes.
All
Well,
right. What's up
all right.
next?
Let's do
Home
let's
skillet.
do the Jagged Little Pill mini review real quick. That
All
sounds
right.
good. So for those of you who don't know, which I didn't know, the reason I went to go see this is they were doing a flash sale for the tour for the opening 2 nights, the Tuesday and Wednesday showings of this production for $29 a ticket. For they were trying to sell more tickets,
That's
and they did
nothing.
flash sale. So I got tickets like a week ahead of time, knowing nothing about this play, what it was, except it was the Alanis Morissette musical. It's based on her music. She
Right.
helped write it. It's a jukebox musical, similar to Moulin Rouge, where most of the songs were existing ones. Alanis Morissette did write 2 songs for this play called Smiling and Predator. She did write them for the production. But other than that, they're all pre-existing ones from her previous albums, most notably from Jagged Little Pill. So the musical itself started production in 2014. They didn't do a first reading until 2017, which Idina Menzel from Rent and Frozen, Wicked, all that fun stuff. She did the first reading as one of the main characters, Mary Jane. And so she did not stick with it
Interesting.
for when it finally came to Broadway. It was on Broadway from 2019 to 2021. And then they closed it for good at 2021 because of COVID still ongoing. They'd gotten hit with stuff there. So it didn't have a very long Broadway run. And then they started a national tour in 2022. And so I saw a lot of the original national tour people were still going on it now. So I saw a lot of those people. And so that was pretty good. It did win 2 Tonys as well. It won one for Best Book and Best Performance in a Musical. So I said a couple notes about the production in general. I don't know if the sound crew or whatever was having an off night, but it has a very neat set and unique. It's kind of similar to Rent, where the band is on stage. It's more like rock band, and they are on stage part of the set like they are with Rent. Like there's no orchestra in the pit or anything.
Okay.
Sound mixing in this production, which I don't know if it was a venue thing or the people touring with them, it was so bad. Like the vocals were getting lost in the instruments like
Oof.
constantly. There were a couple of the performers that their mics were way higher, so they were louder than everyone else. Everyone else, the electric guitar and drums were just bearing their vocals. And I don't know, we saw it on night 2. My cousin went the night before and said it was the same issue then. So I don't know if they got kinks worked out by the weekend or what, but that was rough, and it made it harder for me because I going into this, and like I said, I knew nothing about it, and I've never actively listened to Alanis Morissette. The day of the musical, I decided I was going to listen to some, and then as I was listening, I'm like, okay, I've
That
heard these
is,
before,
that's
but
shocking. You shock me.
no, I was homeschooled.
That's
That's a
good
valid
music.
excuse. I feel like it is good, but I
It's
wasn't
really good. The
exposed to
lyrics are
secular music.
great. I love her voice. Right.
Hmm.
Of course.
Yeah.
I wasn't either, but I still listened to it.
Mine was more like Blink 182 was the what I was
that's
listening
your
to.
that's your rebellious
This is
music.
my rebellious one. Yeah. So as I was listening to it, I'm like, okay, I actually know a decent amount of these songs. And so I went to see it. A caveat I will say, it is a great show. It is very well done. It is probably the heaviest musical I have seen. The main themes of
That's
it
taking
are,
into account that we just talked about Dear Evan Hansen like a couple
yeah,
months ago. It's
yeah.
heavier than
So
that.
it doesn't deal with suicide, but the main theme is sexual assault.
Oh Lord.
Like early, it's like a girl drunk at a party and raped and dealing with aftermath. And there's also drug addiction. Mom who's in a car accident, who's addicted to pills. This white family has an adopted black daughter who rebels against them, and she's very involved with BLM and things like that. So it's set in modern days, but the aesthetic and like the outfits and everything is all very 90s. There's interpretive dance that feels very 90s too. So it's both modern and 90s. There it covers gender fluidity. One of the main characters, Joe, is non-binary in it, which isn't explicitly stated, but it's alluded to, hinted at, or that she's at least trans. And in interviews, they have a non-binary actor playing that role too, Jade McLeod, which they're really good in it. But and it's a lot. It's very heavy. It's not like you're leaving happy. Like there's overdoses, there's constant playing out
Yikes.
of the assault, protests, all this sort of thing. It is heavy. And it's all
Yikes.
handled very well and tastefully, and they're important things to discuss and talk about. But not knowing what I was going into, it
Yeah.
was uh, it was a lot.
Surprise.
So the music was great, the performances were great, the story's great. I feel like one of the issues I have with jukebox musicals in general, why I think they don't connect with me as much, is you're making the story fit these songs, how you
Yeah.
want them to, and they don't tell the story as much. Like there's a couple characters in it that are kind of main characters, Joe and Phoenix, that you get things alluding to their story, but it never focuses on them enough that you care enough about their story, um, as I wanted to. I felt like their characters could have been fleshed out quite a bit more, and I wanted them to be too. So
Mm.
I'd say it was really good. I would be cautious going into it. Make sure you're prepared, and that's stuff that you can handle and isn't going to be super triggering. Um,
Yeah.
but the soundtrack is great. It's Alanis Morissette music. I've added songs to my playlist now from it that are really good. And so just it's interesting as far as jukebox musicals go. It's very well done, and it's important, the subject matter and everything it covers. So yeah,
All right.
that
That sounds interesting.
those are my thoughts on it. Yeah.
Is it Broadway or off Broadway?
Um, so it's no longer on Broadway. It left in
Okay.
2021, but it was on Broadway from 2019 to 2021. But
Mm.
I think it only had like a total of 139 shows or something on Broadway in
Wow.
that time, which is not many for a Broadway show, but
Yeah.
because that's right
Because
smack
of
dab in the middle of COVID.
COVID. Yeah.
Yeah.
That sucks. Bad
So
time to be putting out your masterpiece.
yeah, but they do have a cast recording album that's out there and pretty solid.
And I guess I'm assuming there's no way to stream that one just yet.
Mm-mm. Um, I think you could probably find bootleg versions on YouTube, but those are never
Yeah.
good. Like the
I'll
audio
have to
quality is
see. I'll have
bad.
to check it out and see if they're touring anywhere near
Yeah,
me because something sounds interesting, at least. And I
yeah.
love her music. So I just, even if I didn't like the story, I'd just be singing along to the song. So
Mm-hmm.
I'll check it
Yep.
out.
Yeah.
I
So
went to
that's
a jukebox musical for, it was a Billy Joel musical. And
hmm.
I remember thinking exactly what you thought, which was, okay, I love Billy Joel music. Love, 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 love his music. But I
Mm-hmm.
remember thinking, like, this plot doesn't really make a whole lot of sense. Like, if
Yeah.
you remove the songs from it, they would be all over the place. Like,
Right.
what's happened? But they literally had to make the story wind and curve and peak and valley based on whatever they were about to sing about. So
Right.
it was a hot mess, but the music was amazing. So you kind of get like you have to take it with that grain of salt, knowing it's like, yeah, they can't do both. They can't have a spectacular musical and have great music and like make them
Mm-hmm.
perfectly mesh together. And I think Mamma Mia is similar in a way because it's like that story is
Yeah.
kind of meh, and it's because it's all album music and it's yeah. So
Yeah.
I get it. I get that feeling, but
Yeah.
I'll look into that. I want to see if that one
Yeah.
comes near me, and I will watch it if
Well,
it does.
and one other last thing I'll say about it too is I felt like, even though I said there were two characters that I kind of wish would have been developed further, um, there's just so much going on in it in general that it's
Yeah.
almost like they try to cram everything in and want to focus on these important topics, but they wanted to do everything. Like they're having this girl who's black and dealing with white family and her viewing them as having like a white savior complex and stuff
Mm.
like that. Um, and then you're dealing with actual BLM stuff. You're dealing with gender identity and discovering themselves. You're dealing with there's son who's viewed as parents as the perfect, all their hopes and dreams on him, and that you're dealing with the sexual assault. You're dealing with um, hidden feelings. You're dealing with drug abuse. You're dealing with romance,
Jeez.
like all of these things. It's all crammed in there, and there's just so much going on that I feel like not everything gets the focus it could have for a fleshed out story.
Right.
Um, so yeah,
Cool. Well,
Okay.
thanks for that little review. I think that's
Mm-hmm.
very interesting. And I didn't even know about it until you told me about it. So now I see I
Now you
learn
know.
new things every day.
Yeah. Okay.
Okay, what's next?
Next, we got the Disney songs set list draft. So
What are
we
the
did.
rules?
Okay. Well, there's one we're gonna discuss and come to an agreement on. So we're gonna each choose 5 songs. We will go. I will let Rayleigh pick first, unless she doesn't want to pick first, but I'm assuming you do, because rules are gonna be you can't. Once someone picks a song, the other person can't pick it.
Okay.
And I will leave it up to you to decide if you want to pick your favorite Disney songs or what you think are the best Disney songs. Because I don't know about you, but to me, those are
Those are
potentially
not
different lists.
always, yeah, they're not always,
So
they're not always
I'll
this one
let
and the same.
you decide in your heart which one you want to do.
In my
Um,
heart?
in your
Thank you so
heart.
much.
You're welcome. I care about your
So
heart.
my heart is really important.
Now, for the other rules, no more than one song from a musical on your list. And it's up to you if you want to decide if we want to say no more than one song from a musical total. Like
So as soon
if
as you
you
pick a
take a song from
musical,
Fantasia, then I can't pick a song from Fantasia. But I don't know how like your list plays out. I have 13 movies represented on my list. So I would be fine if we did that rule, but this is being I'm open to agreement on this. I'm fine either way. If it's just each of us can have one song from it or one song total and then it's kaput.
I'm going to err on the side of caution and say we can each have one song from the musicals
Okay.
because I don't think there's a lot of options to choose from, but I have a feeling quite a few of ours are going to be at the very least overlapping musicals and at the most overlapping songs.
Okay.
So we may not get 5 each if we can't pick the same
That's fair.
musical at least once.
Okay.
So good with that?
I'm good with that.
Okay, and I want to ask this: are we ranking them, or are we just naming 5? Like, do I have to give you from top to bottom? My 5 being the least
Well,
favorite to 1 being the most favorite of all time. Because I'll be honest with you, I don't know if I can do that.
no, I'd say start with your favorite ones, number 1, because obviously you want to get it before I get ones. But really, like for the graphic, I'm not going to put 1, 2, 3, 4, 5. I'm just going to
Okay,
have them listed. So it's
it would
up to
be
you. You can
too much
do
pressure on
any
me to
order
try
you
to put
choose.
one ahead of the other because some of them just cannot be outranked or ranked because
Mm-hmm.
they're my 5 best. So I don't know if I can take my most best
It's
and
fair.
give you my least best. I don't know if I can do that.
Now, are we have had debate on this in the past. Are we going to give any honorable mentions at the end or no
Oh
honorable
Lord, this man
mentions?
with his honorable mentions
Well, I have
says pick
14
5, and he
songs on my
comes with
list.
40, and he's like, I'm going to find a way to give you at least
14.
28 of these.
Yeah.
How about this? One honorable mention.
Okay. I like
5
that.
faves, one honorable mention. And I went at this with the understanding that we were choosing the 5 that we think are the best. Now,
Okay.
it's like some of them I like. I'll say that some of them I like to sing in the car, or whatever. I think that they're
Mm-hmm.
like some of my favorites to sing. But there are others that I would consider as better songs than the ones I sing.
Mm-hmm.
That makes sense.
Yeah.
Okay. All right. So I'm going first.
Yep. You get to go first.
Okay. I'm gonna pick. For my first one, I'm gonna pick "Beneath a Moonlit Sky" from Love Never Dies. Beneath a Moonless Sky. Is that right? Yeah.
Not Disney.
Oh yeah.
We already did the musical songs one.
What the
Holy
fuck?
shit.
I'm off to a great start, everybody. Oh my god.
Jeez.
Let me strike that one off the list. We'll just
Louise.
pretend like that didn't happen. I was like, what? Because I was thinking about it too. I was like, why didn't I put more from other musicals that I like? Oh, because the restrictions were Disney, Raley. Duh. And literally all the other songs on my list are Disney. I swear to God, everything on this list is Disney. But for some reason, I threw
Oh,
that one in
man.
there.
You just want your love for that to come through.
Ooh, I had a huge blonde moment just now.
Oh boy. Oh
Please
boy.
excuse my brain deadedness. Okay, bye bye. Love never dies. You get out of here with that shit. All right, fine. We'll pretend like that never happened. I am gonna go with. We don't talk about Bruno in Encanto.
Mm.
I love that movie. I don't think there's a soul on this planet Earth that can hear that song and not dance to it and not just want to like get down. I'd say Lin Manuel Miranda, spectacular masterpiece of a song. And that's my first pick.
Nice.
Go ahead. That wasn't on your list,
We
though, right?
no, that's not even one of my top 3 songs from Encanto. So,
Really? Very
yep.
interesting.
So,
Okay, your turn. Go.
I'm trying to decide if I want to pick with my heart or not. I'm going to go with I'm going to go with How Far I'll Go from Moana.
I almost put that on my
That's
list, but I didn't.
a more modern one, but it's one of my favorites. It's definitely my favorite song from Moana, and I think overall, great song. I'm not excited about the live action Moana. I think
Yeah.
it's pointless and it's gonna suck because it's just gonna be like the animated one, but with worse special effects. So,
Yeah.
but yeah, that I'll do that for my first pick.
Okay, that's a good one. I think
Oh, I
it's
should probably.
the reprise version that I like the best. Is it that same song? I can't remember what. But in the end, when she's on the boat with her grandma and she's trying to figure out like what her purpose in life is, and she dives into the water and all that stuff, is that the reprise for How Far I'll Go? No, yeah, where she goes like, "I am
Yeah,
Moana," and she dives
that I
in and
don't know.
gets.
I've only
You don't
seen
remember?
Moana like twice,
Oh, okay.
so I
Well,
don't
I've
know.
seen it a gazillion
I don't
times.
know.
Oh well. Okay, moving on. I'm gonna have to go with "You'll Be in My Heart" from Tarzan.
Mm.
You'll be in my heart, no matter what they say. Look, Phil Collins did us a service with that soundtrack. I think Tarzan is probably one of my favorite
Mm-hmm.
Disney movies that like soundtrack overall because I have songs that I like more than that song, but the whole soundtrack of that movie, it hits. I mean, it
Yeah.
hits. And Phil Collins did that for us. He didn't have to go so hard for the Tarzan soundtrack. He didn't have to do that, but he did that for us. And for that, I thank you, Phil. I thank you because you'll be in my heart. Strangers Like Me, Two Worlds, One Family. All those songs are just like, damn. Okay,
Yeah.
Phil, I hear you. Good stuff. So you'll be in my heart. Number 2. Your turn.
Okay. My number 2 is gonna be modern one. Modern one. I'm gonna go with "Speechless" from Aladdin, the full
Ooh,
version, which is one
the
sung
live
by
action movie.
Jasmine. From the live action one, and I think that song is the best part of the live action Aladdin by far. And just a good song overall.
I agree
I
with you
like the
there.
like anthem type songs.
Yeah, it's I remember thinking when I first saw that movie, I was like, "There's that song is not in the original, obviously,
Mm-hmm.
but it was so okay with me that they had thrown that in there because I was like, they kind of effed up the rest of the movie, in my opinion. Like it's decent, but it was so just I don't know. The acting was terrible. Like Will Smith as a
Yeah.
genie was just like, eh. After you see Robin Williams do such an amazing job, Howlin' Worth poor Will Smith could never ever fill those shoes. And that the guy who played Aladdin is just a terrible actor, and he's cheesy. It's just like, ugh. But that
And
song, I was
Jafar's
like,
not sinister at all.
at all, at all. And it's just like they messed that one up. But when they
Mm-hmm.
dropped that new song in there, I was like, well, y'all just kind of won some awards, because
Mm-hmm.
I'd be pissed off off at you for trying to add songs into a movie that don't belong. When you're gonna redo a Disney movie, you don't just like throw in new music. But they did. I wasn't mad about it.
Yep.
That was a good choice. I didn't think about that one.
Thank
It's a
you.
good choice.
Thank you.
All right. So my third choice. God, this is gonna get hard now because I don't have that many left. I'm gonna go with "Let It Go," Frozen. Frozen, because that song, I
Solid
don't think there's any way
choice.
to listen to that song without being like just like bolting it out. Like, yeah, girl,
True.
you do let it go. Just let it out. You know, go. It just feels good. Yeah. And even though I think I'm not that big of a fan of Idina Menzel in certain things, and I wasn't
Yep.
sure why they picked her voice for the character of Elsa, because for me it didn't fit that well. But that song, she's obviously got great pipes, and that song
Right.
delivers. So that's choice
Nice.
numero tres for moi.
It's a good one. I'm going to go with one that I almost guarantee is not on your list. And I'm going to go with Gotta Go My Own Way from High School Musical 2.
Definitely not on
Mm-hmm.
my list.
It should be.
Definitely
Should be
not on
on
my list.
everyone's list.
I will keep that in
What
mind.
about us? What about everything we've been through?
That's the one that they
What
did.
about trust? You
That's
know
the
I
one they
never
did.
wanted to hurt you.
That
So
video.
good.
I think I told you about it last time we recorded, but it's a video of the two of them. It's like a High School Musical without the music, and
Oh yeah.
and they're
Yep.
just like, "What about us?" And they're going, ooh, while they're dancing.
I see it. And the one where
So
they're in the
hilarious.
kitchen too, and
Yeah.
they're hitting the pots, and it's just so bad. Yeah.
That almost makes High School Musical worth watching for me. If I see that, like, in that general look and feel, it makes it okay for me because that stuff is hilarious. All right.
Okay.
Okay.
Your
I
second
get
to
it.
last pick.
This is tough. Okay. I think I gotta do the obvious one that everybody knows is coming, and it's not a surprise, which I'm kind of mad that I have to take up a slot for it, but I can't not, because it is my all-time favorite ever. Did any Disney song, any Disney movie, and it is Poor Unfortunate Souls. I'm bringing it back out because I can't, in good conscience, leave that one off my top 5 list just because I want to use the spot for something else. I can't. It
I,
wouldn't be right
I thought it was
to my
going to be
to my
your
girl
number
Ursula.
one.
Well, that's why I asked, do I have to rank them? Because it's not really, it's obvious that I'd put that at ranked number 1. So I kind of feel like that does the whole system a disjustice, an injustice, because then I'm like, can't I have to have other songs that I like, and I have to use up a one slot for that one. And it kind of like feels like a waste almost, but
It's true,
whatever.
but it was risky because I debated taking it just so you didn't get it,
I
even
knew
though
you
it's
weren't
not
going to
one of my
take
top
it.
5.
And that's why I knew, because you, like me, don't want to waste any of your top 5. You would want to do that
Oh,
just to get vengeance and just
yep,
to do me wrong.
it's true. And I'm
All
just a
right, what's your?
genuinely good person.
Or no, you're not. No. Let's not get ahead of ourselves. Let's not be delusional this recording. Let's just stay with reality.
Okay,
All right. We are
I'm gonna
second
go
to last
with
one.
an old school Disney one for my second to last one. Um, I am going to go with Gaston from Beauty and the Beast.
Damn it.
Oh, that one was on your list?
I almost said that one just before I did Poor Unfortunate Souls. I almost took that
Mm,
one.
I
Damn
didn't think
it.
that one would be on your list.
And here I
I
thought we
thought we
were
were
going to
gonna
go through
go
the whole
with
thing
that
without
there.
overlapping.
Mm-hmm. Yep.
I thought that was
Phew,
going
I'm
to
glad I
happen.
took
And
it
then,
there. I almost saved it for my last one. I'm glad I took it there then.
damn it.
But
Son of
yeah,
a
just
bitch.
that one and everything. In the live action one, I like Josh Gad as LeFou, but I don't love Luke Evans as Gaston. So like it's the original Gaston from the original
Yes.
old
The
school
animated
Disney movie, the
original.
animated one. Just the entire
Yeah,
scene, how it plays out, everything. It's just a fun
it is
song.
great.
It's it's
Yep.
great. So that's
And
my
when you
number
listen to
4.
the lyrics, you're like, this is hilarious. Like he's talking about, and I'm especially good at expectorating.
Yeah.
Like,
Yeah.
who wrote a song using the word expectorating? Like, that
Yeah.
is just, mwah,
So
yes.
good.
I use antlers in all of my decorating. I
Such a
just
good
and I
one.
love that he's talking about he ate 4 dozen eggs every morning,
Hmm.
and then he grew up and he ate 5 dozen eggs every morning. 5 dozen.
Correct me if I'm
Homeboy
wrong.
chokes down 60 eggs.
He's eating them with the shells on in the anime one, isn't
Oh,
he? He's
He
just
just threw them
swallowing
up and went. Look, look,
entire
look, look.
eggs. Hmm.
Lots of little baby birds in that guy's belly.
Hmm. Yeah.
Oh, that's so. I'm so mad you took that one from me. Whatever. I guess that just means that I'll have to choose the other last one that I was going to
Yeah.
pick. Yeah.
Yeah.
And I'm going to have to go for my last choice. This is a really tough, 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 tough one. But I already did Little Mermaid, so I can't choose that one. Okay.
Hmm.
I'm going to go with A Whole New World from Aladdin. The
Mm.
original animated one, not the live action, though it's the same song. I prefer the original,
Yeah.
their voices. And yeah, I love Aladdin. Who doesn't love a good magic carpet
Hmm.
ride?
See, I had that one on my list, and I almost took it first. Um, and I was debating. I was almost took A Whole New World and then Speechless, and was going to argue that they were different versions. They were technically different movies.
Tricky.
But no, I just went with Speechless. So yeah, that's you can't go wrong with A Whole New World. You
Nope.
also can't go wrong with the version from Twisted, Take Off Your Clothes. So good.
It's also good. Yeah, I
If you
do.
haven't
I
watched Twisted yet, go
do.
watch it on
Do it.
YouTube and then watch our review.
You're
It's
missing
fun.
out. If you haven't
I
seen
mean, the
it, you're
review
missing
is
out.
basically us just quoting it and talking about how much we loved it, but
Right?
it's great.
That's true. It really was only that. But
Hmm.
I love Whole New World, and I've tricked my 4-year-old son into loving Disney soundtracks just as much as I do. So whenever he tells me, like we're in the car, he'll say like, "Mama, can you play the song where I sing the boy parts and you sing the girl parts?" And I'm like, "Yes, I can." And we put on A Whole New World, and he's back there going like, "I can show you the world." And I'm like, "Sing it, kid." Shining, shimmering, splendid. He loves it. We do a little duet. My little 4-year-old and I, we duet the heck out of that song. But I always know which one he's talking about. Can you play the song where I do the boy parts and you do the girl parts?
Did you hear
God, I
that?
love that kid.
There's
That's
crazy
thunder?
loud thunder right now.
I just
Yeah.
thought you were like rubbing against your mic or something.
No, that's
Oh,
thunder.
that is insanely loud.
Yeah.
All right, hit me
As
with your
long as I
last
don't lose
choice.
power.
Hit me with your last choice.
Dun, dun, dun. I'm going to go with I'll Make a Man Out of You from Mulan for my
Ooh,
last choice.
also on my list.
Yeah.
Yeah.
Yeah. That it's just it's perfect. It's a perfect Disney song from
Mm-hmm.
that time.
Yeah.
It's so good. Annis Donnie Osmond, um, who everyone pictures when they're like, who voices this Chinese man? Japanese man? Japanese.
No, China.
Um, China?
China.
Chinese.
Yeah.
Chinese.
Chinese.
I haven't
They're in
watched
China.
Mulan in a long time, and I never watched the live action one. The live action one's not a musical.
I haven't seen
Um,
it either, and I heard it sucked, so.
yeah.
And it's not a
But
musical. You know
I'll
what
Make a
bothers me
Man
about
Out of
Mulan,
You.
though?
Hmm.
The thing that bothers me the most about Mulan is it's a musical for the first half of the movie. But if you watch it, after they go off to war, There are no
Yeah.
more songs. Like it just stops being a musical halfway through, which
Yeah.
really bugs me because I'm like, you have great song. You have Reflection. You have Make a Man Out of Me. You have the Going Off to War song. Oh, A Girl Worth Fighting For, which is also a
Mm.
fantastic song. And then after that, no more music. I'm like, y'all were doing so great. Why'd you stop? But I guess it gets serious at that point because they're at war.
Yeah.
And I'm like,
Damn
but the
war.
music is good. What happened to the yeah. Yeah. Ah, it's good stuff.
Yeah. Okay. Now you can do what's an honorable mention one. You can do an honorable mention.
Can I do an honorable mention from us a musical that we already talked about?
Yep.
Okay.
There's no rules in this point.
Okay. Yeah. Well, I kind of just spoiled it. It's the Girl Worth Fighting For Mulan.
Yeah.
And yeah, I had that on my list, and I had to decide between that. I was going to decide between that and A Whole New World because I was planning on doing Gaston, but somebody
Mm.
stole it. So there you go. Because that song, also that
Oh.
song is one of the most shocking dichotomy I've ever seen in a movie of any sort, of especially a Disney movie, where they're like, singing along and walking off to war, and like, yeah, 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 a girl worth fighting for, a girl worth fighting. Death. They're in the middle of finishing the last line of the song, and they come over the hill, and the entire army is dead and burned, and the village is dead. You remember that
I
part?
no. I haven't watched Mulan in probably like 8+ years.
It is like it's the biggest what the fuck that you could possibly do in a Disney movie. Like, la la la, you're singing about girls going up to war. Yeah, yeah, yeah. Happy, happy, happy. Stop. Dead, dead, dead people. Dead child. Dead humans. Dead general. Dead this guy.
All the death.
All the death. That so much so that they don't even finish the last line of the song because they're interrupted by the death. It's like that took some balls for them to do that when they were making that
Yeah.
movie. Like, shit, y'all really just changed it up right here. Vibe check. Yeah,
Mm.
that's my honorable mention. You go right ahead now.
See, I don't even remember that song from it, so I'll have to
Oh
listen
my
to it
god, you have
after
to.
after we do this. Um I I intentionally didn't I didn't choose any from a Goofy movie, which is
I'm
my
shocked.
favorite one. But part of the reason for that is most of the songs from that, like my favorite songs from that, are more pop songs that are put into this and not really like in the musical. So that's why I didn't pick that. So my honorable mention though is going to be Surface Pressure from Encanto. That's actually my favorite song
That is also a good
from
song.
Encanto. So that one, it's one of a like that actress's voice. It's not the most soothing voices, but it fits the song so perfectly with the power and what she's going through, and
Yeah.
that role as being the oldest sister, always having to take on the burden and getting weighed down. No one really cares how she feels or what she's actually going through. Just expect to always be the strong one. It's all just building up inside, like dreaming of not having to worry. And so I really like that one. And
Plus,
that's my favorite song from Encanto.
who
So
doesn't love dancing donkeys? I
that's
mean,
right. The visuals in that one are great.
fantastic.
So
Yes.
yeah. So that concludes our Disney draft talk, all that fun stuff. I will say two things that I always hear people talk about for best Disney songs I see, or like on lists or playlists. The ones I see most commonly are When You Wish Upon a Star and You've Got a Friend in Me, which I hate both of those songs. I think both of those songs, like, they're not even in my top, like, probably 50
Yeah,
Disney songs.
me
Um,
either.
they're not up there for me.
I think people who put those on their playlist as their best are like thinking in terms of like classic, like, oh, this is a classic because it's in, When You Wish Upon a Star is in every single time you watch a Disney movie. Do, 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 do,
Yeah.
do, do, do. And then, of course, Toy Story was the first Disney Pixar mashup where you actually had the like
Yeah.
that style of animation. And so Toy Story is like the original of the that combo Disney Pixar,
Mm-hmm.
and so they think You Got a Friend in Me is like a classic for that reason. But I totally agree with you. I see that all the time, and I'm like, dude, those songs suck. Like
Mm-hmm.
we've made so many better songs since then.
Right.
Come on, come on.
Right.
Just because it's
Yeah.
old doesn't mean it's good.
Agreed.
Just because it came first doesn't mean
Agreed.
it's the best.
That's right.
So
That's right. Okay. You have any last thoughts before we sign off?
no,
Let
I'm all out of
people.
thoughts.
Okay. No más thoughts for this episode. That does it for our Random May episode. Next week will be a mini episode. And then the week after that, we will be talking about Heathers the Musical, which you can watch on Roku, the Roku channel. So it's free. It has commercials. Check it out before, I think it's like May 24th is when that episode's coming out. So tune in for
Right
that.
on.
Has been Raley and myself. Don't forget to go down once more. Later.
Peace.